That's it.
Hello, Jay. So we're here with Jay, just looking at my questions here. And you own a Zesty shop and you make D&D paraphernalia and...
I own Dungeon Delvers Gaming Limited.
Dungeon Delvers Gaming Limited.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit about your shop?
Yeah.
What you do exactly?
Yeah, so I started about 18 months ago. I was teaching a SEN school as a DT teacher as a day job. And we had a load of kids in there that are also into D&D, Warhammer, geeky stuff, that kind of thing. So originally I started off just as a little cheaper website where, kids can go on, buy dice, bases, that sort of thing. And then we got a 3D printer at work because we thought, oh, that's a cheap way to get practice things to paint for them. And since then, the kids fell in love with the models that were coming out of it. So I thought, oh, I'm going to have a little look at that at home. So bought my first printer about a year ago now, just over, and backing onto different merchant tiers and stuff like that. So I sell loads of geeky, like scenery, bases, models, gaming accessories, that kind of thing. But the big important thing for me is that I wanted to keep a lot of my stuff pocket money friendly so kids can still buy into it. So I remember when I was younger and I was starting into it, it was like, oh yeah, you can go out and buy this for £2.50 or that for £3 or whatever. You could go into a shop and just grab it. Whereas a lot of retail companies now, they're sort of pricing kids out of that pocket money market. So you can't just buy individual little things anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So I bought a 3D printer probably about 3 or 4 years ago, just before COVID, because I thought I'd get into trying to print minis and things off.
Yeah.
And I'm not the most tech savvy person. So I never actually, and because of my living arrangements, I never actually got to set it up initially because they can be quite potent in their smell.
Yeah.
So basically renting a bedroom, I couldn't really have it in my bedroom and sleep there.
Wow, that's it. The noise would keep you up as well as the smells.
Yeah, so I never really set it up. And then a mate of mine who he works in IT and things like that, he borrowed it and he struggled with it as well. So I've got it boxed up at the minute. I'm thinking of selling it, to be honest.
Yeah,
that's great that you set that all up.
It took us about 6 months really to sort of get good quality prints coming out of it that I thought, okay, yeah, they're worth selling kind of thing. So there's definitely a big learning curve involved in 3D printing, but once you've got it, you've got it.
Yeah. So is yours a resin printer or?
Yeah, I've got 3 resin printers on the go, quite big ones. And I do little bits of FDM here and there, but because the detail isn't there on them, I don't like selling them as much. I'd rather stick to what I know, stick to what I'm good at and keep the quality there with them.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So you've kind of covered what my next question would be, which is what kind of things do you make? So we'll skip over that and go to what's your favorite thing that you make and why is that?
Oh, my favorite. So one of the first things that ever got me into D&D was mimics. I think they are cool as anything. It's just they're the trope D&D monster to me. And I've got a range of mimic themed dice boxes and deck boxes. And I just think they're the coolest things in my shop, to be honest. I can print them big, I can print them small. And then I've got other little chests and stuff that are coming out on the way as well, just going through the testing stages. But something I'm looking to get into as well is I've got the merchant rights for them, but actually casting molds of these fantasy creatures and then making them into large concrete garden ornaments.
Oh, that's cool.
Because, the missus has been kind enough to let me take over the spare room with the geeky stuff. And we've just cleared the garden. So now I'm sat there I could get some little fantasy stuff going on down there.
I'll tell you what would be really good if you could do plaster casts to put on to people's walls as well.
Yeah, big art pieces.
And things like that. Yeah, that would be so good.
Yeah.
I agree with you with mimics. I do really like them as an idea, and I've surprisingly I've not used them as much as in some of the games that I've done.
Well,
and the one of the times I did, I put I can't remember what the particular spell is, but it's like an aura of magic on it, so that rather than them checking the chest for mimicry or anything, they just went, oh, it's got magic in it, because they love to spam the old detect magic spells.
Yeah.
So they just went straight in there. It's like,
oh no, now you've lost your arm. No, well, I've got I backed Kickstarter. They weren't offering merchant rights for it, but I saw it and it was just like 60 different kinds of mimics. And that was released about the same time. I think it was DM Dave previewed his Mimic Museum Adventure, just a little one shot for it. So I've been printing stuff ready for that because the idea is, you know, party meets in the tavern or whatever. Oh no, something's wrong at the museum. You go in there and like half the stuff in there is just mimics, and it's going to be great.
It's just eating. Yeah, that's really cool. So what are, here's a bit of a personal question.
Mm.
What's the is there anything surprising about you that people don't know? Well, a lot of people won't know much about you anyway. So
yeah, so well, my background's in construction, and that sort of branched into design technology, and that sort of branched into teaching. But my degree is actually in music performance. I thought, oh, when I was about 18, 19, I was like, yeah, sorry, I'm going to be a rock star. And went there, played guitar for a few years, got my degree out the end of it. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to do that anymore. I just fell into building work.
Rock star to building.
Yeah.
Now to to doing this.
Yeah.
Is this your main job then that you're trying to
no, so it's been good. Yeah, so I still teach 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and then the 3D printing shop that kind of takes up all my weekends and evenings at the minute. So it's growing and it's growing and it's growing, but it's not at the point where I can quit my day job yet. No. So you know, ideally the like pipe dream kind of thing is to have a proper brick and mortar hobby shop. People can come in and say, I want one of these, and we'll have it ready for them in a couple of hours off the printers, you know, put up, have a drink, play some games, whatever.
Yeah, and then you can just, oh, that's nice. That's almost like one of those, we do your keys while we reshoe you.
Exactly, yeah. But because like special educational needs has always been prevalent in my family, and that's why I got into SEN teaching. But I want to make sure to maintain an environment in my shop, you know, however many years from now, it's like, actually, yeah, okay, you know, SEN kids feel comfortable there and the sensory stimulus, and it's not too overwhelming for them, and we'll have those different clubs and that going. But you know, I want to sort of like look at getting staff in there that like, okay, we're not just geeks, we've had experience with these kind of people as well. And, you know, it's keeping kids busy and getting them something to do for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I like about role-playing games in general, not just D&D, but it's that whole mental aspect of things. It can help people sort of refocus their outside life, outside of the whole game itself.
Yeah. Yeah, a good one for these lot as well is, well, particularly with the students that I work with, is social and emotional development as well. They can play out different social scenarios with, you know, a trusted adult there saying, well, no, actually, if you do this, then they're probably not going to, you know, do you any more favors, are they, kind of thing. And it's just a different way for them to explore those aspects.
Yeah, in a safe way as well, which is
exactly
really important. And I have had this idea that I want to start running like 3-month based games on helping people with not major trauma, but little aspects of their life, like how to become more outgoing if they find that that's holding them back in life.
Yeah,
being able to role play that with a group of other people, and maybe one of those other people is in some way trained as a trauma expert or you know, in that kind of field.
Yeah,
life coaching, whatever. It'll help people to be able to do things outside of the game that they feel safe doing inside the game.
Exactly.
And that whole thing, it kind of fascinates me.
Yeah.
And I want to bring that in more to games and things. But yeah, that's amazing work that you're doing there. I love it. So here's some questions really about you a little bit more. Would you rather be a successful hero or a successful villain?
Successful villain. Bad guys have all the fun. Everybody knows it.
And what kind of villain would you be? The world dominating villain or the world destroying villain?
I'll probably be the world dominating villain, but after I've dominated it, I would just retreat to my little beholder there, and I'll just admire all the shiny things that I've collected.
And would you rather have the ability to see 10 minutes into the future or 150 years into the future?
Oh, 10 minutes, I'd say. I'm not going to live past 150.
You don't want to see what the future holds for us all.
No, I'd rather put that on the lotto numbers 10 minutes before the draw.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, then. Some quick fire questions. If you could be anything, what would it be?
Probably a transformer.
Okay, that's good. If you could cast one spell, what would it be?
Oh, Zone of Truth.
Zone of Truth. Nice. If you had to choose to be one of the original D&D characters from the cartoon, if you remember that far back, which one would you be?
Well, it's a bit before my time, to be honest. I was born in 95, but the Ranger for me.
The Ranger, yeah. What's your go-to snack when you're playing games?
Chili Doritos.
And is there a game you want to try that you've not tried yet?
Necromunda by Games Workshop. I've got the box set still in the shrink wrap from about 6 months ago, and I still need to actually open it and look at all the rules.
Have you got people to play it? That's the question.
Yeah, we've got people to play it. We've got quite a big gaming circle, but to be honest, and so we've always got something new coming in, be it a Kickstarter, be it this campaign, be it this, that, or the other sort of thing. So when we do actually, we'll probably meet up once every week or two, but it's like, oh no, we haven't got time to do that yet, or let's do this instead because everybody's got something new and exciting to bring in.
Yeah. Also then, as part of that, are there any new things coming out soon? I know you've said about the Mimic, and I've actually seen those Mimics that you posted a little bit in the group.
Yeah.
Is there anything other than that that's coming out soon?
Well, I've always got new ranges dropping for my shop. I tend to stick to either fantasy, sci-fi, or accessories kind of thing. So I'm working at the minute on a little range of drinkware and stuff, little goblets, shot glasses, that kind of thing, which I'm looking forward to. To be honest, I only really got them because I thought, oh, they look really cool. I want some of them. And that tends to be my idea for anything that I buy into for merchant rights. It's like, if I think it's cool, someone else is going to think it's cool. Yeah. But one of the challenges with that is that obviously SLA resin isn't food safe to drink out of straight away. So it's getting everything scaled in and tweaked up so it can take the steel inserts that go into it. Yeah. And then, I've always got more little trinkety and the odd mini here and there coming out. But I'm trying to push a little bit more into the sci-fi stuff because with, a certain large games producer having a new edition dropping soon, that's going to be like selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And it's the same when there was different like kill teams or boarding actions or anything like that drop in. It's like, oh yeah, there's a spike in these kind of things for that month, and then it dies down a bit. So it's kind of trying to predict the trends and what the next big thing is going to be, so I can get things tested, ready, and make sure that I'm going to be sending out decent stuff.
Yeah, I think we all know what the one of the next big things is going to be, don't we? Yeah. Be a lot of people jumping on that bandwagon.
Oh, definitely.
So what I'd like you to do is, if you've got a D6, would you like to tell us about an ideal, a bond, or a flaw?
I got a 4.
You rolled a 4, but do you want a question from ideals, bonds, or flaws?
Oh, let's go for ideals. That sounds like a nice friendly one to start.
Ideals. So you've got 4. So there's 3 questions. So I'm acting like it's a D3.
Mm-hmm.
So let's have a look. What would prompt you to make sacrifices?
Oh, I suppose it depends on what we're sacrificing, but I would probably say something Cthulhu based. If some big dark entity came and was like, oh yeah, we're going to give you all of this, but you need to sacrifice your goat to me. Like, yeah, I'll trade that for a goat.
All right. So, because when I read that, I thought from a slightly different point of view, I suppose. I was thinking of it from more of you've got to sacrifice something to save someone, or that kind of thing.
Typical good guy.
There's you being your villainous self.
No, if there was something in need, someone in danger, it was for the greater good, then yeah, let's give it up. But let's not rule out Cthulhu.
Yeah, well, Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. So, what's the how do people get in touch with you and buy your amazing things?
Oh, thanks. So I've got an Etsy shop. I've got an eBay shop. I do commission printing services as well for like Hero Forge characters, or somebody sees something and they're like, oh, I want one of them, but I don't have a printer for it. And most of them, so all of my stock stuff is available on my websites on eBay and Etsy, and then my commission printing, I tend to run that through my Facebook chats. So people can reach out to me personally as Jay Hunt, or they can approach the business page, which is DD Gaming Limited. And we'll go from there, really. But it's important to me that, like, when I'm doing commission prints, I would much rather spend an hour chatting with somebody and finding out what it is they want exactly, rather than just saying, oh yeah, give me that, and I'll charge you for it. Like, there's enough people out there that are doing stuff that isn't exactly what people are looking for, and I'd just rather spend that extra time, because I think the problem with 3D printing is because there's so many people doing it, there's a lot of people having bad experiences with it, and that puts them off getting stuff in the future. So I'd rather give people a good experience and then be happy with what they've received and think, oh yeah, this is exactly what I wanted, than fob it off with something that isn't quite up to scratch.
I think that's the difference between going with small outfits rather than these big ones that it's very much, you can do this but you can't do this, you can do this but you can't do that, because we haven't got time to talk to these people. So sometimes there's just so much benefit with going with the smaller
definitely
bits and things. But I'll also print put a link to your Etsy shop and everything.
I appreciate that.
Be up above or down below where this goes.
But
that would be great. And is there a raffle or something you'd like to give away as a raffle opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I could quite easily say, oh yeah, everybody bung in and buy a box of this random stuff that I've had lying around, but I'll chuck in a 50 quid Etsy voucher for the shop, and then people can just go on and pick what they want from my store, rather than saying, oh yeah, I'm not really into that at the minute. So I'll chuck that in for the next raffle.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem.
It's been great talking to you, and hopefully we shall have another conversation again at some point in the near future. Feel free to post things in ATV. Hopefully at some point as well we'll get to meet up, maybe.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Cool. All right.
Well, thanks ever so much for having me. It's been great chatting.